Greetings everyone, my name is Dr. Jason Freeman. I'd like to welcome you all to my channel. Like a lot of you, I absolutely love the Penguin series on Max. It was intense, it was enthralling, and it was an emotional roller coaster. And the performances of Kristen Milioti as Sophia and Renzi Felice as Vic, Colin Farrell as Oz, and Deidre O'Connell as Frances Cobb, Oz's mom, those performances were top notch. And so I was a bit bummed when I found out that there's probably not going to be The Penguin Season 2. Now apparently it was originally supposed to be a one and done, so we just see kind of the origin of Oz Cobb as the Penguin, and then we see the more fully formed Penguin in the Batman 2. But even with that, I was hoping, of course, you don't kill off the Penguin, like you just don't kill off the Joker, unless you're the original Batman. But the point is, I was thinking that, even if we have the Batman 2, we have Colin Farrell as the Penguin there, then we can still get another season 2 of the Penguin after that film comes out. But then Matt Reeves revealed that we won't be getting the Batman 2 until at least 2027. That's when the release date has been pushed, which would push a second Penguin series till sometime after that. And then the nail in the coffin was Colin Farrell in an interview saying that he kind of didn't really want to do another season of the Penguin, at least not until there was a superb script on the level of the first one, because of the emotional and the physical toll that all those prosthetics puts on him. And so all that taken together kind of tells me that I should not hold my breath for The Penguin Season 2. So I'm saying all this to basically say, the original idea for this video was to basically say these are comics you should read before the Penguin Season 2 comes out, though who knows when that's going to happen. So instead, basically these are comics you should read in lieu of the Penguin Season 2. Before we get started, I just want to mention that there will be spoilers for the Penguin series as well as the Batman, the movie with Pattinson. There will be spoilers for those in this video, so if you don't want those things spoiled, you should click off the video now. Alright, you've been warned. Now, there were a lot of breakout performances in this season, but one that really stood out, that was really a focus of a lot of this season, was the performance by Kristen Milioti as Sophia Falcone. And so in the show, you have Sophia, who was wrongfully locked away for 10 years. She gets out, she confronts Oz Cobb, the Penguin, and her actions really are inciting for a lot of the action in this show. And the thing I most admire about Milioti's performance is that she made us feel sorry for this character who honestly does some pretty despicable things. I mean, let's not forget, she orphaned her cousin Giaviti, the little girl, basically orphaned her and kind of left her at the whims of Gotham's horrendous foster care system. Now, Sophia doesn't have an extensive presence in the comics. In fact, her entire arc time of recording occurs in 2 Batman miniseries, Batman The Long Halloween, which ran in 1996, and Batman Dark Victory, which ran from 1999 to 2000. Now, after reading both these miniseries, there are some clear influences of these miniseries on the Matt Reeves The Batman universe. These influences include the introduction of the Hangman Killer and the mystery surrounding their true identity, and Carmine being killed, leading to Sophia Gigante taking over the Falcone family business. Now, one moment that has significant implications for Gotham and the citizens of Gotham in both the Batman and the Penguin series is when the seawall was destroyed.
Evacuation will not be an option.
Now, in the Batman, we see it push Bruce, slash Batman, to become a beacon of hope rather than just vengeance. And in the Penguin, we see the warders come in and destroy the neighborhood that Vic is from, killing his family, really setting up his tragic story. Now, a similar disaster hits Gotham City in the comic Batman Cataclysm. Now in that comic, rather than explosions, there's a 7.6 on the Richter scale earthquake. And so like the Penguin series, we see how the Penguin capitalizes on the ensuing chaos as a result of the disaster in the comics Batman Legends of the Dark Knight number 17 and Batman Shout of the Bat number 85, respectively called Bread and Circuses Part 1 and Part 2. Now the phrase bread and circuses comes from the line in a poem called Satire 10 by the Roman poet Juvenal. And in the poem he says, "If the old emperor had been surreptitiously smothered, that same crowd in a moment would have held their new Augustus. They shared their sense of responsibility long ago when they lost their votes and the bribes. The mob that used to grant power, high office, the legions, everything, curtails its desires and reveals its anxiety for two things only: bread and circuses. I hear that many will perish, no doubt. The furnace is huge." Basically, he says if you give a mob the basic things that they want, bread and circuses, they're going to ignore a whole host of injustices. And so we see this line played out in Bread and Circuses Part 1 and Part 2, in which we see the Penguin's ruthlessness and lack of empathy for other human beings as he forces civilians to participate in death matches in what is left of the Iceberg Lounge. And speaking of the Penguin's ruthlessness and lack of empathy, no moments exemplify these traits more than the Penguin killing his own brothers by leaving them to drown in the sewers of Gotham. Or the Penguin turning in Sophia Falcone to the GCPD, knowing that she would be taken back to Arkham Asylum, which for her is a fate worse than death. Now we see this consistent sadism and evil across multiple Penguin stories, but none more than one of my favorite Penguin stories, Penguin, Pain and Prejudice. Now in this comic, we see the Penguin's penchant for getting revenge on people for what he perceives as even the most minor slights. We see him torturing the friends, the family, including the children of people that he sees as being disrespectful or bullying to him. And even those who are closest to him aren't safe. And so in the Penguin series, we see where he kills his brothers, and it's kind of left open as to whether, his original intent was to hurt them. Well, in the comics, that intent is pretty clear, and it was not an accident at all. I mean, the Penguin is a real SOB, but we already knew that. Now, another set of comics that really shows off the loathful nature of the Penguin is the recent run of the Penguin comics by Tom King and Chip Zdarsky. The Penguin Volume 1, The Prodigal Bird, and the second one is called The Penguin Volume 2, All Bad Things. And not to give too much away, in the comics, Oswald Cobblepot has faked his own death. He's leading this quiet life, this simple life. But unfortunately, he has kids, and these kids are just like him. Now, if you thought he was sick for what he did to his family in the Penguin series, that was just the tip of the iceberg. Pun intended. I hope you're enjoying the video, but I just wanted to quickly mention that if you're enjoying what you're seeing from the DCU or DC Comics in general, why not buy a Funko Pop of your favorite DC character? I have a few myself and will definitely be getting more. To get your own Funko Pop DC character, click on the link in the description. Now at the end of the Penguin series, we see him take on the full Penguin persona, the tuxedo, the top hat, and he's also the king of the underworld of Gotham. So all his competition has been eliminated, and so it's just him versus the Bat. Now if you're a fan of this classic version of Penguin, which I am, my first Penguin was Burgess Meredith back in the 1960 series. Obviously I'm not that old, but I saw it in reruns. And so one group of comics, or one pair of comics I would suggest is Batman number 548 and number 549, The Penguin Returns Part 1 and Part 2. Now in these comics, we see the Penguin literally return. So he went from being just a straight up gangster in charge of the Iceberg Lounge, and so now he's going back to his more classic bird-themed crimes. Now before we get to that end where we see the bat signal in the sky and Oz dancing with his girlfriend Eve, we have this very important scene where he's actually meeting with a council member named Sebastian Haddon. Now in this meeting, a lot of things are alluded to. So basically, the Penguin's gonna go legit. He's gonna try to be, as Hades says, look clean. And so we've seen this in the comics. So basically where Oz goes legit. And one of the classic examples of this is the comic Batman Penguin Triumphant. And so in this comic, Oz is in Arkham, where he should be, and he comes up with this idea based on seeing a TV show, like a talk show, where instead of going to do criminal stuff, he's gonna go legit and make his money in the stock market. But Oswald Cobblepot being Oswald Cobblepot, he can't stay legit for long, and so of course he's gonna game the stock market and turn that into his newest criminal enterprise. But of course you have another billionaire on the other side, Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, who goes ahead and puts an end to that nonsense. And so again, I think we're gonna see this in the Batman Part 2, where you're gonna see a much more legitimate Oz who has influence within the city, but of course behind the scenes, he's basically the monster he always was, as his mom and everyone else saw in the Penguin series. And now to take this to the most extreme version of Oz going legit, there is a alternate reality Elseworlds comics where we actually see Oz as the mayor. So basically Mayor Oswald Cobblepot. And so this is in Batman Earth 1. And so I can see this as being the ultimate kind of destination for our Oz Cobb in the Penguin Matt Reeves universe. So basically he eventually rises the rank in Gotham City, becomes mayor, where he gets to rub shoulders with elites. He gets to kind of plan things and have these master plans that he can't really do as just a crime boss, and basically wins what he always wants, which is respect from the world at large. And so like many a criminal, at the end of the day, if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to end up basically either dead or in jail. I think that's going to be the fate of Penguin, and again, we've seen both fates within the comics. But either way, I'm going to be glued to my seat just to see what happens. Now if you found this video interesting and or informative, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, please share this video. And if there are other Penguin comics that you would like to suggest for us to read, please leave those suggestions in the comment section below. Thank you all for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.